Hello everyone, once again we got a gr20 vertical lift. It's a 2016 model that obviously we've been having issues with it. And the main reason was the rear wheel was slanted. I mean, it was literally kind of sideways, so I figured it was the bearings, the shaft, or whatever. So it was keeping it from going up because obviously it was a bit sideways. It wasn't even that bad, but you could tell that the rear wheel was kind of back to the future style looking, which was a bit slanted. And that was actually triggering the tilt sensor right here. So it was keeping it from going up. Uh, at the same time, when you would drive it, it would drag a little. Sorry. It would drag a little over the rear wheel. Now, it would still spin, but it was triggering the obviously the tilt sensor saying the machine was tilted, and at the same time it was when you would drive it, it would kind of be a bit sluggish. So I put on jacks and checked out the brake, which is this is your brake right here, so you can free roll. So one thing you got to remember about these genies is that the front steer and have power for it to go forward and reverse. The rear wheels, which is the rear hub, you can see it right here. I took it off. That is pretty much only your brakes. So that thing will not move whatsoever unless obviously, you trigger it. And now whenever you trigger it, whenever you click that joystick right there, then you freeze up the brakes and the front wheels power it up, steer, and forward and reverse. As you can see right here, in case you guys didn't know, this is your brake. The hub that I took out is right there, and all it does is have one hydraulic hose going to it right here, and all that does is applies the brake and releases the brake. This is the emergency one. So if you push this little lever in all the way and you give it a good 2 or 3 pumps, the rear wheels would be free rolling, and then you can push the machine all over the place if you want. And when I had this thing up in the air, I had that wheel right there. It would free roll whenever I press the brake valve and give it a few pumps on that red valve, but this side will not. So I went ahead and changed it and to take it to remove it, and oh yeah, it was busted. So pretty much the bearing inside of this thing is busted, and all you got to do with these things to catch the inside is just remove this plate that goes right here. It has 2 bolts, one there, one right there, 7/16 or 11, and then you're gonna have access to the rear of it. If you can see 4 bolts, you do gonna have to take the cotter pin, the castle nut, and if you can, give it a few whacks right here on that wheel, spin it around, a few more whacks, because all it does is have that key right there that goes into the to the spindle right here. In my case, obviously it was snugged up. You can get a couple of bolts in there, make sure they're long enough, and screw them in. It'll push out the wheel and it'll make it easier. In my case, being so busted, the bearings been so bad and all, it was a pain. So I had to go Ricardo on it, and which I had to pretty much just put a vice grip on the Allen head and put another one right there, 3/4, and just kind of slowly go for it. And it's got 4 of them. You can see those go straight through. This is pretty much just the spacer right here. It's got notches. You can see right there. You got two at the top and 2 at the bottom. Once you take the thing off, obviously you're gonna have the whole hub with a wheel, and then you're gonna end up with this thing right here. And this would be the top right here. This is the little hose I was telling you about where the hydraulic brake go to. And so once you take this thing off, you got your little spacer here, and then you're gonna end up with this bad boy right here. See, I'm gonna remove this. I got the wrong size, obviously. And screw these thing. Got 4 of them, and I do believe it's a size 10 Allen head. That's what I used. It would be pretty tight, but not too tight. Once you remove these things, you're gonna end up with a. You take this thing off, then you're gonna end up with little springs. You can see the little bearings inside are shot. I mean, they were all over the place. Once you see those things right there, if it's giving you issues and you remove the whole hub with the wheel, you can always just pick it up in the air and give it, a few hits right here at the with the hammer, and it'll shoot right out. As you can see right now, I got, those are just little springs. That's how it pretty much looks. But obviously, even like right here, it doesn't even free roll. So I took the whole thing off, and obviously you got the little springs right here. Take it off. It comes off the wheel. You can see the shaft. It's tapered, and you have your little key thing right here. Obviously, I was able to remove it. And there's the shaft right there. Now the shaft itself doesn't look too bad, but the bearings in there, they are pretty shot. Especially the ones on the other side, right there. I mean, those are gone. And well, this is what I'm dealing with. Like I said, the thing that was causing the issues was the wheel was slanted, was keeping it from going up because of a tilt sensor. He thought it was, kind of out of balance, which it was. And like I said before, these hubs in the back, it's pretty much only your brake whenever you want to push the machine because it's dead or whatever. Just push that thing right there, give it a few pumps, and it'll free roll. It'll free up the rear wheels, and you'll be able to take them. You'll be able to push them around and do all that good stuff. And I don't really know how it happened, how this thing just came out like that and got damaged enough for the for the shaft to just be kind of sideways. It could have been just the bearings, or whenever we pick them up with forklifts, we've seen these things get abused and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that could have been an issue too. But as far as now, this piece right here, I haven't found one that you can actually just get either the bearing or the whole thing. I mean, they sell the tapered shaft with this piece and this piece all on once. And I've been looking all around the internet for those things, and they're about $700, the cheapest. So that sucks. But I mean, other than that, it was unsafe to operate. You don't want to just kind of, rig it up, and then at the end, whenever the machine is up, that thing breaks, the shaft breaks or whatever, and he sends the guy in the basket up in some kind of adventure. Now, we don't want that, so we pretty much just got to deal with that kind of stuff, and you just got to make sure everything goes well. And I hope I cleared some of the questions you might have if y'all running some kind of problems like this. Obviously, I don't have a fancy shop, so I got to use my things. Whenever you jack it up, you can go right here. You just don't go where the pothole protection thing is, because it will bend it. But I mean, once, you know, just make sure you don't jack it up too far off, or the whole machine goes kind of sideways because they're so narrow, so tall, so heavy. But like I said, that hub, you know, pretty plain and simple. It is if you don't remove the wheel first to try to take that little hub out, it will be a little trickier, but it's not the end of the world. You know, just go slowly but surely. It took me about 30 minutes to take it all out, even though it didn't have, you know, even though I couldn't take the wheel off first. So I just put some vice grips on the Allen head bolt on the back side of it and 3/4 on the other end, and it was good to go. The whole thing just came off. You can then take that thing off with like I can't remember what size that thing was. Might have been a 9/16, which is only one hose for the hydraulic brake to release, and there it goes. I hope he was helpful. And just a reminder, this is your brakes for any Genie. gr20s, 19s, scissors, 26, 32s, 46s. They all have these set up right here with the brakes. If they go dead in the middle of the yard and you can't move them, and you don't have a forklift big enough to pick up one of those 26 scissor lifts or whatever, just go here, push that red valve, give it a few pumps, and just make sure the machine is not downhill, because it will, you know, it'll keep on rolling like the Limp Biscuit. But I mean, besides that, it's flat ground. You can do that. Release the brakes, push it around. Obviously, it'll still be heavy, but you'll be able to push it around, push it to the side, and do all that good stuff. And if you're working on it too, you know, they're locked up. Just do that thing, raised up. You raise the rear up, and it'll free roll. Like I said on this one, the left one right there, that one, it would free roll, but not this one. And that was because of the mess right here. The bearing got destroyed for some reason. That's actually my first time I've seen one of those do that. And I see a lot of gr20s. And it was, I mean, the wheel was kind of, you know, a little sideways, looking like one of those weird camper kit things you see out there on the streets on cars. But obviously in the machine is not a good thing. Probably not even in a car. But anyways, you know, it wouldn't go up, kept triggering the tilt sensor, or the machine was tilted. And that's pretty much what the big issue was. Well, besides that thing being slanted. So now we got to replace the hub. And like I said, if you guys know anything, or a place where they sell these parts a bit cheaper, which usually they are cheap. I go to a GC Iron, or, you know, the Genie parts place, and they're actually pretty cheap. But I didn't actually realize this thing was that pricey. I mean, 700, 750 for the whole thing. It does not come with bolts. It does not come with a new wheel. You know, it's just pretty much just this piece, that piece, and the shaft with a bearing inside. So, I mean, I guess that's important. I mean, they are the brakes. You know, you don't want those things to mess up, which the hub itself wouldn't mess up, to release the brakes and be free rolling all over the place. It pretty much just be the whole brake assembly here, or the valve. But either way, hope it helps you. And like I said, it's a 2016 Genie gr20, all good to go. And I guess I'll let you guys know what happens right after I fix this bad boy. And stay tuned for more. Some have fun out here. All right, see you guys later.